If you're poor, you're ruining the country. So for some reason, billionaires, politicians, those poor starving corporations, and people sitting at the absolute top of society are wildly obsessed with convincing you that the person ruining your life is somebody significantly poorer than you. This is really funny. You know, because for some reason, I don't know why, it works. You're exhausted. Oh, that 10-hour shift just destroyed you. I know. It's absolutely depressing. You don't even have enough energy to make your own food at home, so you have to stop at fast food, which ruins your blood pressure and makes you a bit angry because the fast food has all those sugars inside of it, so you're hyped up and you're listening to a podcast on your way home for some guy that makes much more money than you. Your rent went up. Oh, what's going on? Groceries cost too much. Your insurance sucks. Your job refuses to give you a wage. You worked 45 hours this week and somehow have less money than you did 3 years ago. And then somebody appears on the podcast or something of variety, maybe it's a guest, and says, you know who's responsible for all your suffering and troubles? Tell me, Magic Podcast Man. That poor, black, dark, charcoal-skinned single mother receiving food assistance. Oh, thank God we found her. Oh my God. I'm so happy we found this woman. The architect of American economic suffering was apparently a woman trying to figure out whether she can afford daycare. I'm happy. We finally figured it out. We can end all suffering now. Take her out. Take her to the back. Mott's banner. Never mind the executive making hundreds of times what their workers make. Never mind monopolies. And I'm not talking about that fun little guy that for some reason I'm not remembering correctly. Monocle, no monocle, Mandela effect? I'm not quite sure. Nelson Mandela? Was he in prison? I don't know. Never mind stock buybacks. Never mind wealthy people and corporations spending enormous amounts of money influencing policy. Sandra bought cereal with government assistance. Get her! The language is always so fascinating to me. Maybe she does. A lot of people receiving public assistance actually do work. Then you say childcare is expensive, and suddenly everybody becomes a family planning consultant. They know everything about childcare. They're masters at it. They've done this for years. They understand that. Well, her mother could watch the baby. What if her mother works? Her sister could do it. What if her sister has children? She shouldn't have children. She shouldn't have children. Okay, so what exactly is the proposed solution now? That the children currently exist, and that's the issue, and that's the problem? Do we feed the child, or do we explain economic responsibility to this 6-year-old until they understand everything? Oh no, we actually took away Roe versus Wade, so we can't even get healthy, safe abortions and women protections, and you don't want abortions, but you don't want to take care of the child afterwards. What's the goal here exactly? Do you want kids or do you not want kids? I'm confused. Maybe you're not pro-life, you're just anti-choice. Have we considered that possibility for once in our lives, that you just don't want women to have choices because you hate women, and historically have shown that you hate women? Have we gotten there? Are we on that yet? When are we gonna stop hating women? When are we gonna do that? When are we gonna have this happen, huh? Eventually the argument reveals what it really is. Some people have convinced themselves that access to food, shelter, and healthcare, these very basic necessities, should be conditional based on how economically useful you are. If you work enough, you deserve medicine. If you generate enough profit, you deserve housing. If you're either unemployed, or maybe you're disabled, caring for somebody, if you're mentally struggling, if you're between jobs, or maybe just simply poor, you are worthless, and that is how they feel. I think we have to talk about scale. If you've ever been in a big city and looked up at a building, your brain has a hard time comprehending just how big that big building is downtown. It's very hard to do so. Some people experience vertigo when this happens to them. Our brains are amazing at many things and complete garbage at comprehending enormous numbers. A million and a billion both sound like big number. Right, that's just it. They're just a big number. They're not even remotely the same thing. Imagine if you counted one number every second. Getting to 60 takes 1 minute. Getting to 600 takes 10 minutes, right? Do you understand that? Getting to 1 million would take about 11 and a half days if you never stopped. Now, you count to 1 billion, that's 31.7 years. No sleeping, no eating, no bathroom, just 1, 2, 3, until an entire generation has grown up. That is what it would take to count to 1 billion. That's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire scale. We say these words next to each other so often that the human brain doesn't really understand what that means. They're not neighboring houses. They're whole different planets. Let me do this better. I'll do this better. Imagine you have $1,000 and you give somebody $1. That represents the same percentage of wealth as somebody with 1 billion giving away $1 million. If you gave away $10 from your $1,000, the billionaire equivalent would actually be $10 million. That's how ridiculous the scale of 1 billion is. Somebody worth $1 billion can lose $1 million and mathematically experience something closer to you misplacing a dollar out of 1,000. That is how deep a billion is. I need you to really understand the scale. Now, billionaire net worth is tied to many different things. There's companies, shares, estates, all this other stuff that you'll never have in your entire life. It's a different scale in how they operate. But I need to paint a mental picture to make you understand. Because a person who has a lot of money, right, you're going to see that and say they have a lot of money. You have to train yourself to understand that we're discussing wealth at a level that nobody can really understand. Yes, I'm pocket watching. I think everybody should pocket watch billionaires because we keep pocket watching the single mom who's trying to feed her kids. Why are you using food assistance to buy pop and soda? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, you bought steak? You bought steak? How did they afford that? Maybe it was discounted, maybe? Gregory, have we considered that? Maybe they wanted one decent dinner this month? Somebody receiving government assistance owns an iPhone or Nikes or Jordans, and then everybody says, oh, they're wasting their money. I think there should be an investigation into where that iPhone came from. I'm sorry. Have you considered investigating the billionaire who is doing wildly more crazy things with their money? Have we considered that? Have we considered that they are making more money than your entire family generations have made in the past 7 generations? Have we considered that? I'm confused. Then suddenly everybody starts asking me these really cool questions. I love the questions people ask me because people say, jealousy? Are you jealous? Excuse me? I'm sorry, you wanted to inspect the grocery cart of a mother making $24,000 a year, but asking how concentrated wealth shapes politics is somehow a crazy question and assumes me jealous? What have we done? What have we done? We have reached a point in common day society where the poorer somebody becomes, the more publicly accountable every dollar they spend should be, while extreme wealth earns increased privacy and deference all the time. This is so insanely backwards. It really kills me. So as of this video's recording and publishing, Trump made all this money from crypto and nobody cares about it. I keep thinking about that. Also keep thinking about the anti-weaponization slush fund that he tried to get started and moving. I think about those things a lot because those are very important. Those are very important. They're horrifying things, and he just keeps trying to get away with this over and over again. It's really, really scary. And then he said, oh my god, the billionaire statement. You guys around for the billionaire statement? This is crazy.
Quite often when the press and the media runs them down, they think about, he's taking care of his billionaire friends. But those billionaire friends provide jobs. And unless you take care of them, those jobs are absent.
He's trying to make you empathize with billionaires. I want you to really understand that. Let's talk about fantasy. People want to become... Oftentimes I'll hear people say that I just hate successful people. Brother, I need you to understand something very important. Statistically, you're probably never going to become a billionaire. Neither am I. This isn't me crushing your dreams. Dream huge, build a company, become wealthy, make something incredible. There's a difference between believing you can improve your life and building your entire political worldview around the possibility that someday you'll possess 10 digits of net worth. That's never gonna happen. People will defend policies overwhelmingly benefiting the ultra wealthy. I don't understand why they do that. Jeff Bezos does not know you. Elon Musk is not holding your future billionaire membership card. Oh my god, I just realized something. Elon Musk is the relatable billionaire. I hate to phrase it that way. He thinks he's Tony Stark and he is wildly incompetent as a human being, but that incompetence has allowed him to soar in ways that aren't even fathomable by the average person. Elon Musk is doing so much good for the billionaire image that I can't even it's crazy to really think about that. If you work a regular 9-to-5 job, whether it's be at Amazon or Walmart or something of that variety, ask an average coworker how they feel about Elon Musk. Not on the internet coworker, just a regular coworker. Ask them how they feel. You're probably going to hear something really infuriating because they don't know about how he actually operates. I think about that all the time. Blaming this guy in a tent right here is incredibly convenient for powerful people because poor people generally have less power to fight back. That's the magic trick. Your boss controls your schedule. Your landlord controls your rent. An insurance company can determine whether something gets covered. Corporations can influence markets and government policy, but somehow public anger gets redirected towards somebody receiving $300 worth of groceries every single month. Why? Because punching down is easy. The person on welfare doesn't have a lobbying firm. The homeless guy doesn't have a television network. The cashier doesn't have 6 senators returning her calls. Poor people are extraordinarily useful villains because everybody can see poverty, while concentrated economic power is very, 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 very abstract. You physically see somebody using an EBT card. You not physically see complicated tax structure, corporate consolidation, lobbying networks, financial engineering, wage suppression, regulatory capture, or thousands of pages of legislation that you do not read through. One is a human standing in front of you. The other is the infrastructure of the human standing in front of you is more so what is happening there. You don't understand the infrastructure because you refuse to actually look past yourself for 10 seconds. But I guess that's fair. You know, I'm gonna explain this real fast. Do you want to know how you make somebody care about AI data centers in any capacity? Do you know how you make somebody care? Explain to that person that if an AI data center gets built, it will increase their electric bill. You have to make things personal. When you make things personal, people understand them better. I'll give you a very even more fun example. Here's a better example. If 10 people died in a tsunami, right? You would say that's really tragic. If someone's mother died, they would care significantly more, simply because it's more personal and they grew up with their mother and they care about human life to an empathetic point, but their mother is their mother and they can't get another mother. You know what I mean? It's making something personal makes it easier for people to conceptualize what that thing is. It's why people use kids a lot, because kids, everybody wants kids. Like 90% of people want kids. So that's exactly where it is. It's just this personability politics that makes it so stupid. And MAGA is so popular. It's personability politics. It's the cult of personality, essentially, is what they're doing. My biggest issue is this deep sense of moral failure that comes with poor people. I don't understand that. If somebody's poor, you immediately start questioning all their financial decisions. Did they work hard enough? Do they work hard enough? Do they drink? Do they have children early? Did they go to college? Where did they pick that degree? Why did they pick that degree? Why don't they move? Why don't they get another job? Why don't they leave America? What's going on? Why don't they learn coding? Why do they have Netflix? Meanwhile, what happens with wealthy people is that they can inherit extraordinary advantages through years of consolidating wealth, and society still loves constructing this epic mythology about their individual genius. If you really think that Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, if you think these people are solely responsible for everything in their company and not just some figurehead, and a CEO is responsible for everything good about McDonald's, we desperately need to change things. I think we want to prove virtue with wealth because that makes the world feel fair. I think we want fairness. Rich means discipline and poor means irresponsible. Then everybody gets to believe the economic hierarchy represents some divine leadership ranking human worth. But that's not how reality works. I think to become really popular, you have to be a little bit of a piece of human garbage. I don't think there are many good celebrities. I say 98% of celebrities and content creators at the top are not good people intrinsically. I think we want to believe that because it makes things just so much easier in our minds, but that doesn't really matter. Reality is so much worse than what you think. Hard work matters, decisions matters, luck matters, family matters. Ooh, Steve Urkel? Health matters, geography matters, education matters, timing matters, connections matters, policies matters. And sometimes somebody does everything correctly and still gets hit with a steel chair. Have you considered that? I have 3 bachelor degrees. I don't know if I've ever told anybody this, but I have 3 bachelor's degrees. I have a degree in human sciences, communications, and business technologies. Those are my 3 degrees that I have, and I like them. I went to school for 4 years. I did a lot of credit hours to get them, and they're very important to me. I can't get a job in any of those fields at all because none of them are hiring, and I could make potentially up to $120,000 a year, but I can't do anything with that degree. I can't do anything with the degrees. A lot of the business technology jobs that are being taken over by AI are directly in my field, being taken over by automated programs, which is very horrifying. And when it comes to communications, that's just a worthless degree. I can go on a radio maybe, but I decided to become a YouTuber. It seems like every YouTuber has college degrees for some reason because they realize that they chose worthless degrees that actually destroy them. And when it comes to human sciences, that's really just me learning about people, so I can't really become a scientist. I would have to further that and get a master's or a doctorate, so I don't want to do that. I tried everything to make my life, at least in some ways, really good, and I'm doing pretty fine right now, but that's strictly because of YouTube right now. It is really strictly because of YouTube. The worst part is what this mentality does to solidarity between regular people. Someone making $70,000 will hate somebody making $25,000 an hour. That's crazy, while somebody worth hundreds of millions of dollars watch them fight each other. Like, the worker with decent insurance resents the uninsured worker getting healthcare assistance. The renter resents somebody living in public housing. The person barely hanging on to the middle class starts viewing the poor as parasites instead of recognizing how rapidly one layoff, medical emergency, divorce, disability, recession, or family crisis can just destroy and completely rearrange somebody's life. This division, whatever this division is, it's really killing me. It's genuinely killing me. If we keep ordinary people fighting over crumbs and nobody asks why the bakery is privately owned by 6 investment firms, it convinces everybody that compassion is theft. It's just theft, while accumulation is this sacred, holier than thou thing. And suddenly, helping somebody immediately at this exact moment, helping somebody is stupid. It's so controversial. Why would you have empathy and compassion when that doesn't make you money? You're stupid. You have to scam people. You have to. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I am asking you to please pocket watch billionaires, pocket watch corporations, pocket watch governments, pocket watch watches, pocket watch everybody with enough money to materially influence the rules everybody else has to live under. Ask where your taxes go. Ask why wages move the way they do. Ask why healthcare costs what it does. Ask why housing costs what it does. Ask who receives subsidies, contracts, tax advantages, and bailouts. And when somebody points towards the poorest person in a room and tells you that person is stealing their future, look upward for a second. Poverty is not this contagion in the air, this moral disease. Needing help does not erase somebody's humanity. A society should not be measured by how brutally it can punish people who fail economically. That's disgusting. It should be measured by whether ordinary human beings can survive failure at all. That'd be great. You should be allowed to lose a job without losing your medicine. You should be allowed to have a child without children or childcare bankrupting you. You should be allowed to become sick without wondering whether living is financially irresponsible. And if we somehow built a world wealthy enough to produce billionaires while simultaneously telling hungry people that feeding them would be too expensive, maybe the problem somewhere along the way, we became extraordinarily confused about who deserves to actually be scrutinized. Maybe we've done that. So if you made it this far in the video, I imagine you care about me even ever so slightly, so I'm gonna talk about my idea for the future just to get it out the way. I want to get rid of the 40-hour work week. I don't mean in an overnight kind of sense, not this fashion where it happens in one singular day, not 2 days, not 3 days, not 4 days, not 5 days, not 2 weeks. I mean just over time we kill the 40-hour work week. We'd have to slowly start with 32 hours, then eventually go down to 20 hours if productivity can support it, because I think people care about productivity a lot when it comes to big corporations. But the important part about this is that we must not have people lose their weekly income, right? We just want people to get their lives back. So we will raise the living wage to a thriving wage, maybe $30 an hour, something crazy, $20 an hour, something of that variety, right? So I don't want people to work too much. So we raise the living wage and we reduce work hours. Productivity we increase with things such as, we have all these things such as AI and all this other stuff and automation. So we do that in that way. Now, I don't want this to end with great news, everybody. We have AI. Now, everybody go back to 8-hour work weeks. I want to get rid of that. Or 8-hour work days. I want to get rid of that in totality, right? So somebody has to pay for this thing, right? This transition has to pay for it, because if you simply double hourly wages and tell businesses to hire twice as many people, well, every small restaurant is gonna piss you off, is gonna get pissed. They're gonna say, oh, you suck. Why would you do that? You absolutely disgusting, evil, vitriolic, nasty, disgusting, filthy, human little man. You are nasty. You are absurd. You are insane. I hate you. I hate you with my whole says. So create a federal shorter work week wage credit. Small and medium businesses that hire additional workers to cover reduced schedules get part of those new wages subsidized by the government. Maybe I'd say, let's say the government covers a large portion initially, then the subsidy gradually declines over several years as businesses reorganize and productivity adjusts. Giant corporations making billions in profit receive little or none of that assistance, because I don't think Amazon needs it. I don't think, let's say, Target needs it. I don't think those big corporations need it. We need to tax extreme wealth more effectively and efficiently. Close some capital gains. Let's say get rid of some corporate tax advantages, straighten enforcement against sophisticated tax avoidance, and dedicate part of that revenue directly toward the transition. You know, I wouldn't have one billionaire doing this. I would have all billionaires doing this. That'd be fantastic. My end goal isn't simply just wages. That's not the biggest thing I'm looking for here. I want us to reconsider what the economic process is actually for. If technology eventually allows 20-hour work weeks of human labor to produce what 40 hours could produce, then why the hell will we continue demanding 40? Doesn't make any sense. Why does every increase in productivity belong exclusively to output, shareholders, growth targets, and I would assume somebody's quarterly earnings presentation? That would be stupid. That'd be dumb. Give some of us back in time. That's the only resource people care about. We need time to raise children, time to take care of our parents. We need time to exercise. We need time to make stupid little decisions and paintings that nobody will ever buy. Time to date, time to sit on your porch, time to learn something, time to exist. I think that's important. Maybe one person doesn't need to work 60 hours while another person desperately searches for 20. Maybe we distribute the work. Maybe automation doesn't have to mean half of you are employed now. Maybe it means, well, half of you are unemployed now. Maybe it means everybody works less. I don't think the ultimate human achievement of civilization should be creating machines capable of doing everything and then forcing human beings to compete with machines until they die. If society becomes richer, more productive, and more technologically advanced, the reward should be that ordinary people get their lives back, is what would be great. That's my plan. I didn't want to make a whole video about that, but I think that'd be a good idea. That'd be a great idea for me. Maybe I'm too idealistic and dumb, but I really just want that. That'd be so much nicer. Well, anyways, I've got a Patreon if you guys want to help me out there, because I believe crowdfunding is probably going to be the way that I live in this life, so that's going to help everything out. And I'm going to be at Youmacon at the end of the month in October. I'm doing an anime convention where I do 10 panels. My birthday is August 29th, by the way. It's coming up. So if you guys want to be there for my birthday, that'd be cool. You guys it'll be fun if you guys spot it for my birthday. Not like in person. I'll probably be streaming or something of that variety. So I stream Monday through Friday around 9 o'clock. I'll be on Twitch and YouTube. So would appreciate you guys popping through. Anyways, thanks for checking out my video. I appreciate you guys deeply. Have a lovely day or night wherever you're at, and I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your Nick at night, be my Laurel, he's low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.